All right, thank you, Ross. Okay, well, we're excited to be back in the game this week. Enjoyed the open date and getting a chance to watch a lot of other people play and kind of learn a little bit about some other teams and learn from other teams as well. So enjoyed that, but nothing like being a part of it every week and just knowing that you got a game to look forward to and the preparation that takes place all week long. To me, that's what it's all about. Our guys are in a good place. We've got good momentum. Obviously, we've had a good start, but now we're turning the page and stepping into October here. Another opportunity here at home. Going to be a night game in the Valley, and I know it'll be a great atmosphere, for our guys. So we're excited about that, this weekend. Got a really good Virginia team. Bronco has done an amazing job. Obviously, this is a rematch of the ACC championship game last year, and they were there for a reason. This is a team that, in a culture and a program that's been building each year. They're probably one of the more experienced teams out there. Got a lot of guys back offensively. We saw Armstrong some last year, but not a ton. So getting a chance to see him this past Saturday was really good. Other than he's a challenge. He's a problem. He's a really good player. Looks like a young Steve Young running around out there. Lefty, crafty, creative, extends plays, tough runner. Really good size, accurate thrower, really has no fear, puts the ball up, trusts his guys to make competitive plays for him. They do a great job from a schematic standpoint. Experienced in the offensive line, know what they're doing there. But formationally, alignment, check with me's, RPOs, their efficiency on first and second down. They do a great job with all that stuff. We got a few transfers in there. 21 he's a big boy pad runner. You better be ready for that guy. They got length at tight end. They got a couple long guys at receiver. Got a heck of a little slot with Kemp, little number 4 there. He's a really good football player. But they just do a great job. And you can just go back to our game last year. I thought they did it. We only sacked them one time. They were incredibly efficient against us on first and second down. That's an area we're going to have to do better. They were 10 of 18 on third down, so we had a hard time getting off the field. Again, they did a lot of good things. We did not, get the type of pressure that we wanted. We didn't do a good job in short yardage against them. So, we've got a lot of improving to do from that game and from less than a year ago. So we're excited about the challenge, but again, just one game in, they look like the team that went to the ACC championship game last year. Defensively, big, stout, do some creative things defensively as well. Both sides very creative in their schemes and how they play, and mixing up their zone coverages with picking their spots with their man techniques. But they're, experienced. Same thing, a bunch of guys back up front. I think they got 8 starters back. A lot of guys in the secondary, played a lot of football for them. So know what they're doing, know what to put their eyes on. And it's a team that you gotta execute at a high level against. So, excited about the opportunity. Again, just getting back home, getting back in the flow of things, and just trying to get to 1-0 this week. Our team's in a good place, health-wise. We pretty much have, everybody that we expected to be back is practicing, and we've got a couple of longer-term guys like Luke Price that are out for a little more extended time. Justin Foster, but the rest of those guys are here. So this is really the first time in quite a while that we've had everybody on the practice field. So hopefully we can continue to do what we need to do, and have good test results. Wednesday and Friday, and not have any setbacks there, and have a great week of practice. But again, appreciate our fans and look forward to seeing everyone in the Valley Saturday night that can come. Any questions?
That will open it up to questions. As a reminder, if you don't mind, please turn on your video available and identify yourself and your outlet when asking a question.
Hey, Dabo, it's Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch up in Virginia. I wanted to ask you what you see in their edge rushers, Snowden and Taylor, and what challenge it is when there's an effective guy on either side for the defense.
Well, they're an Okie front, so they seem to always have an edge guy. They like to box everything. They get their hands on balls. They got us a couple times last year, but they're just long. I mean, they're long and improving. You can see they look a little thicker than they were last year, but they do a lot. They're moving 7 all over the place, but Levin is he's a 6'7" guy that gets his hands on balls and does a really good job of creating pressure. They do a nice job with their blitz packages and how they attack your protections, attack your back. They got us, like I said, a couple times last year. Did a good job with their twist game, but the length is a problem on the edge, with the way they box everything. So we've got to do a great job of identifying, being on the same page, and being aware of where those guys are. Two good players.
Thank you.
Dabo, this is Matt with the State. Do you know long term or I guess time frame when Justin Foster might be back?
No, I don't. Just whenever they tell me he can go, that's when he'll be able to go.
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor from CUTigers.com. That number 81 Davis kid, the freshman from South Carolina, 6'7". You remember him from your recruiting evaluations, and how much of a challenge is a 6'7" receiver for your corners? Yeah,
honestly I do not. I think we were already locked in on some other guys, but he's a long guy and made some big plays against Duke. In fact, he was I think the difference in the game for Duke. In the Duke game, had a kind of a circus catch down the sideline off a tip ball, and then had a great play in the end zone. A competitive play. So, this quarterback is savvy. He's tough. He's not afraid to run it. He creates. He can escape, and he's not afraid to put the ball up to those guys and give them a chance to make a competitive play. And that's where we're going to have to, do a great job. They had a lot of 50-50 balls in the game, but 81 did a heck of a job for him. So good start for him as a freshman. In his first game, he's just going to get better. As he gets stronger and develops, he'll be a problem as he matures.
Dabo, Billy Napier, obviously a former assistant of yours, has had a lot of success at Louisiana. Just wanted to know if you could reflect on what it was like to work with him at Clemson, and then what it's been like to see his success as a head coach.
Oh, I love Billy. Love working with him. Incredibly bright coach. Always has been, and did a great job. For me and for Clemson when he was here in many areas. But it was an opportunity for him when he moved on, and we had a change here, and just kind of the right time to do that. But I'd worked with Billy for a long time. Since he was a GA. He came here as a GA, and then he became a full-time coach, and we worked side by side. I was coaching receivers, he was coaching tight ends, and then when just as much the respect that I had for Billy when I became the interim, I moved him to quarterbacks and shuffled things around, and then kept him as the coordinator, and he did a great job. But after that second season, it was just kind of schematically wanted to go in a little bit of a different direction, and it just really needed the spot. Billy did an amazing job, and we've always stayed in touch and friends to this day. I've reached out to him a couple times, and super proud of him, and not surprised at all to see him, having the success that he's had, because he works hard at it. He's incredibly knowledgeable and just a good person.
Appreciate it.
Dabo,
This is Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports. Kind of a dumb question, but how important are explosive plays and today and relative to when you became a head coach? Maybe called chunk plays back then, but where are they on your board every week, for accomplishments?
Well, it's a part of our plan to win. Explosive plays can come in all, comes on defense, comes offense, comes special teams, but for us, as far as measurables, it's a run of 12 plus, it's a pass of 16 plus, or it's a touchdown. And when you're talking about offensive football, and it's just a part of our, again, plan to win. We always have an attack mindset. We're always looking for those explosives, but you don't want to force things. There's a statistic. If you have at least two more big plays, two more explosives than the opponent, and you win the turnover margin, you win 98% of the time. So it's always a part of our plan to win, and trying to pick our spots and make sure that we can. Sometimes they just kind of happen when you don't expect it, and sometimes you create those explosives. But that is a huge part of I think the success of anybody offensively.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Dabo, Josh from the Post-Courier. Just a question about the cornerbacks. How excited are you to have Mario back this weekend, and has DK worked through some of those disciplinary things that you needed him to work through?
Mario is great to have him back. It's good to see him back out there, healthy, and excited about that. Having that extra week is going to help him. And as far as DK, I haven't announced anything as far as disciplinary stuff for DK, so not sure where that's coming from. I've given him some love. I don't know about discipline, but I've given him a little love. But he's, DK's great.
Dabo, this is Larry Williams. With Virginia's offensive line, how hard is it with their stature and size sort of to get off blocks and to disrupt, just given how big they are?
Yeah, they're big and experienced. I think that's the other key thing. They're big, strong, and experienced. They really do a good job of being on the same page. So we're going to find out, Saturday night. I mean, that's a key matchup. I think we're much improved in the defensive line, and hopefully that'll show. Like I said, we only had one sack on them last year, and didn't have many PBUs either. And again, they were 10 of 18 on third down, and I thought they dominated us in short yardage. So we're gonna have to play better up front.
Dabo, this is Pete at AP. I know this is a different world we're living in. Was Sunday for you a little bit nerve-wracking at all, waiting for these guys to go through the tests because they had the 2 days off? And is this just part of what, we're all going to have to go through now?
It's just our norm now. I mean, it's not just Sunday. It's Wednesday, it's Friday. So, and it's not really that day. It's the next day or that night. Because typically I find out either, depending on when the test is, I find out either that night or the next morning. When you see that Danny Poole text message come across, you take a deep breath before you open it up. So, but I'm proud of our guys. Our guys are really locked in and doing a great job of doing what they need to do to stay as healthy as they possibly can.
Anybody else have anything for Coach?
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor again from TigerNet.com. Just curious how CJ is getting along with the running backs and acclimating to coaching.
Oh, he's getting a baptism by fire. He's learning that it's a lot different on this side of things. So he don't have near as much free time as he used to have. His clock's a little different, but he's doing great. He's here every day. When we get here and when we go home, and so I'm really proud of him. It's something that CJ's one of those guys. If he sets his mind to do something, he's going he's not going to just do it. He's going to be great at it. And you know, he's decided he wants to coach, and you know, he'll equip himself and because there's just you know, you may know a lot of ball. There's just so much more about, you know, coaching than just drawing up a play or knowing a position. There's so much more than that, especially in college football when you also have the recruiting and compliance and all the other administrative stuff that comes with it. So he'll be great, but he's doing good. It's been awesome having him here every day.
Hey Dabo, this is Grace with The Athletic. When you said last night on the radio show that you're not for the social justice messages on the uniform, why is that something that you don't support?
No, it's not that I'm not for the messages. I just think that, you know, I'm a very traditional guy. You know, I came from Alabama. Really the same reason that we don't change our uniforms. It's not anything to do, not for the messages or whatever. It's just, you know, I've always just not messed with uniforms. That's just kind of been my deal. But that was all changed this year. So guys have the opportunity to express themselves in a way that for things that they believe in and causes and so forth, and so certainly support that. I was more talking about, you know, just the uniform type stuff. It's been our policy here ever since I got the job, you know, as far as how we do our uniforms, and that's just a product of, you know, 13 years at Alabama. And, you know, uniforms were never, I remember when they put the Nike logo on the uniform at Alabama, you'd have thought that, I mean, the world was coming to an end. So that's just kind of been my mindset for a long time. But, you know, again, that's something that was made available this year, and I certainly support our guys in that effort. That's really all I was talking about.
So you are okay and support the Black Lives Matter stickers and I know that Trevor and Darian had said that, you know, we'll see some stuff as the season goes on, but that is something you're on board with?
I'm on board with a lot of the messages. I'm not on board with political organizations. All right, that's a different question. I'm apolitical. You know, to me that's divisive. I've voted Democrat, I've voted Republican, I've voted independent. I've written in people just because I didn't like anybody that was running, so I just wrote in somebody that I liked. I've been voting since I was 18, so I'm very apolitical when it comes to organizations. So I don't really support any organizations. I support common sense causes, that's for sure.
So, Dabo, sorry, this is David Hill with ESPN. I don't want to assume anything here, so I wanted to clarify. What does Black Lives Matter mean to you, I guess? And is that what you're suggesting is a political organization? Or I know this becomes very complicated and there's some gray areas and a lot of people have different ideas, so I just want to make sure that I'm clear about what it is that you're getting at here.
Yeah, I would refer back to what I said this summer. Black lives more than matter. Black lives are worthy. They equally matter. And it's no different.
So that the message of Black Lives Matter is not something you consider political. It's if you're politicizing the message is the thing that you would have a concern about.
I just don't support political organizations. It's just simple as that. From any facet or form. Absolutely, Black Lives Matter. I mean, that's common sense. I've lived my whole life making sure that's something that hopefully my actions have shown, not something that I've just said.
Anybody have anything else for Coach?
Hey, Coach, it's David Hood with TigerNet. You know, we've kind of hit some milestones so far this season, actually playing a game, then the first home game. Now we get another one this weekend with the first night game in Death Valley. You've often talked about how night games in Death Valley give you a little bit of an extra juice. How forward are you looking even as a coach, to coming off the bus, seeing the lights on, even though limited fans, to just a night game in Clemson?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Sounds like we're going to probably have a few of those night games along the way. But I'm just excited to have any game, regardless of what time they could tell us we play at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'd be just as excited. But, it'll be cool. It'll be nice. It'll be a great atmosphere, prime time, all those type of things. Those are there'll be whatever juice our fans can bring. I know it'll be in the stands, that's for sure, and a lot of excitement. So, be fun. Be fun to look forward to it. And we had one night game already up at Wake, but there wasn't anybody there. So this will be a little different atmosphere for us, and in this climate, in this world that we're operating in, probably be as good as you can expect. So that'll be fun for our guys.
I have to ask, it looked like when you ran down the hill against the Citadel, there was no band there, no flags waiting on you, and to me it looked like you and the highway patrolman were racing to the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I gotta. That's called being a creature of habit, and I'm gonna have to coach myself up better. I just came down the hill and kind of, like I normally do. You run through the band and you go down there and you take a left. Typically, I turn around and kind of high five the guys as they're running through the band, and so I get down there, and then all of a sudden I turn around and I'm like by myself. There's nobody there, and the team, like most normal people, would just go right on over to the shortest path to the sideline. So, I'll get down the hill, but I'll probably go a little bit more toward the sideline because it really doesn't make sense to go all the way to the 50 and then go left. At least our guys, they don't think that makes sense with nothing to run through. So that's what we'll do, and it'll be fun.
We'll take one or two more for Coach.
Dabo, this is Grace again with The Athletic. Have you guys in the facility been paying attention to the NFL fan bases every Sunday that are already fighting over Trevor and who's going to get him?
No.
Do you think that that's something that he's at least cognizant of? He's basically trending every Sunday on Twitter.
No, I don't think he's worried about that at all. I think he's just worried about getting ready for Virginia and trying to play well against Virginia.